Yeah, I think Robertson's in quite a nice spot here. If he can time his acceleration just right.
Bringing the bow down slightly. Robertson's still using that Jenica to slow. He's just got to make sure that he can lay. They've also got to make sure, all importantly, that they have the ability to bear away, to turn to the left and start. They'll be trying to use those Jenicas to back. Final 8 seconds. Now it's a race to get going. Robertson with the unfurl, Canfield with a back, and Robertson leading the turn down. Canfield now up and going, but it is Robertson first out of the blocks in the leeward position. Phil Robertson, the winner of the first match, is now leading off the line in the second, in the leeward position, flying his hull, flying the flag for New Zealand across to the reach mark.
And a luff, a big luff from Robertson, and Canfield has to avoid, keep clear. The windward boat keeps clear in sailing.
Now Robertson will be trying to slow both pairs and then lead the turn down. Try and get both boats nice and slow. Doesn't want Canfield to advance too much. If Canfield can move forwards, he has the freedom to potentially bear away and roll around the front of Robertson.
Want to get bow forward a little here, okay?
It's like a dial-up, a traditional dial-up in match racing. Canfield just starting to build. Robertson needs to respond. Got to be careful. Phil going for the luff. Big luff. Canfield pulling the helm down. And it looks like Taylor Canfield may roll around the front. Robertson going for a luff. It wasn't there. And Taylor Canfield has found his way past blue penalty. Canfield bearing away. The umpire's deciding he do not do enough. And he's got to go back behind. Andy, the drama.
Unlucky, I'd say, for the US team. Taylor Canfield, I thought, was pretty comfortable in rolling over the top of Robertson there. And I think that was a harsh penalty for him. And now there's still a bit more cheeky shenanigans going on because Canfield has to now go behind Robertson, and Robertson actually slowing down to make it more difficult for Canfield to get behind him.
Well, here we go, through the jibe. Robertson starting to build. The penalty still in place. Canfield not allowed. Here we go, a bit of a love from Canfield. He's still got a penalty outstanding. He needs to try and slow. Canfield really angry. The penalty flag, and it's a green flag. The blue penalty has cleared. Now, I think the umpires are being, hard on these lead boats. When they start to be too clever, that's not really the objective. Canfield calling for room at the gate, but Phil Robertson going for another luff. A big luff from Robertson. Canfield, we've got contact between the two boats. Canfield and Robertson are touching. Canfield's barreling in. He might even capsize Robertson with the jibe. Canfield ram-raiding his way around the outside of the New Zealander, and Robertson through the turn now. These boats locked together, and Canfield over the top of that jibe mark. There's a penalty on Canfield, I'm for sure, after that. Robertson around the bottom gate. Canfield absolutely barging in like a brute, like a bouncer at a nightclub.
It's a donkey derby. That really was unreal. Canfield got his blood up for sure. He felt that they were in the 2 boat length circle, and that should give Canfield the ability to go around that bottom mark inside. But the umpire said they weren't.
You know, you can always hope for that 3-length zone, and let me tell you, the boat behind always thinks it's nearer than the boat in front, and it did not work out. I think that penalty should now have washed.
No, it's still there. Oh, there's the umpire. Flag still up. Canfield has to slow down. Maybe Canfield's got to tack and duck underneath the red sail Newport boat.
This is smart sailing from Canfield because he needs to cross 2 lengths behind when he still has time to sail behind. So Canfield being very strategic about where he takes his penalty. He's really thought about this, taking it across towards the side that he's crossing from. Here we go.
Now there's the debate worthy of high school championships here, where they're deciding whether it's 1 boat length or 2.
Well, it's the umpire's view that matters. The penalty's now down.
So penalty gone away.
A great penalty again from Canfield. He's really pushing the boundaries of what constitutes a penalty, putting the umpires under pressure, a bit like an umpire being heckled in the middle of a World Cup final.
And the thing here is that Canfield did the penalty on port, ducking underneath Robertson, and now he's coming back with starboard advantage. The blue boat, the American team, in the Cox business boat is on starboard, and Robertson is going to have to avoid. He's on port, he's ducking underneath, and Canfield played that like a champ. Beauty.
I mean, he sold that to the umpires. He's done his penalties in extremely well selected places on the racetrack. But let me tell you, they are going to be close at the top. Canfield through the tack. Robertson now up and through the tack. Robertson at this time will be coming in with the
starboard advantage for sure. We're going to see it again.
Can Canfield cross? I think he's picked up a little zephyr breeze on that left-hand side, and he's around the top. Canfield snatching the opportunity when it arose, and it is the US team rounding that mark in front.
Wow, what a comeback. 2 penalties, a donkey derby at the bottom, and Canfield comes out of the top with a 3-boat length lead. Unbecredible. Canfield now leading. Robertson, he needs to come back.
I mean, he'll be spewing after that duck. Canfield wasn't that far behind.
No.
He did not really cross 3 lengths behind, 2 lengths clear behind, I don't think, but the umpire's deciding he did, and Canfield has taken every inch that he's gained on that beat and found a way around Robertson, and now Robertson with it all to do, just the run down to the bottom and the beat back up to the top. And we'll see who is going to take the second race.
Yeah, for sure, right turn.
Look at that extension.
And the difference between the prospect of Robertson going 2-0 up or equaling the score was amazing to think that Canfield can get those 2 penalties, barge in at the bottom, and still manage to get starboard advantage on the final upwind. And then even when Robertson got the ability to get to the right and come into the top with starboard, Canfield had better breeze and squeezed around him.
He picked his moment, and in to the bottom, Canfield.
Wait here, lads, wait, full weight.
US 1 sailing.
Next weight, rack, big rack.
Flying the hull down, Robertson comes. Canfield already down the bottom. Now we've seen Robertson come back on a beat before. Will we see it again?
Well, for the impartial observer, this couldn't have been a better result to take it to 1-1. We're going to get to see a little more sailing. It's first to 3 points, remember. The lured marks, you can go around either of those 2 red marks that the boats have just been around.
Both of these skippers are absolutely at the top of the game. I'm listening to their voices in my ears. Robertson firing on all cylinders. When he's in charge, conducting his team in front of him, you know that Phil Robertson is on song and sailing well. Taylor Canfield is normally the voice of Maine that you hear when that team absolutely firing.
Okay, going high, slow here. High, slow. Ready to come down? Okay, coming down. Let's go. Yeah. I think I go now, eh? Any pressure out in this? Yeah, 3, 2, 1, rolling here.
So Phil Robertson through the tack. I don't think that Taylor Canfield on US 1 went all the way to that starboard exclusion. So I think Taylor Canfield trying to get back in phase. Protecting that right-hand side.
Some great onboard pictures with Canfield sitting on the windward rack. Windward hull, rather, the crew sitting on the rack. The crew of Chris Main, Ricky McGarvey and Hayden Goodrick.
Yeah, good, Stu. Yeah, going fast here, lads.
Well, an inch perfect champagne sailing Newport day here for Adams. A wash of the sailing fraternity that have come down to see this, and what a spectacle these 2 teams have put on.
Yeah, hard to find a more experienced and sailing knowledgeable crowd, but for those of you newcomers, this is the final leg in the second race. Robertson took the first race, and Canfield in the blue boat leading down towards the finish. The finishing mark between the red and white markers as Canfield unrolls his Jenica, streaks towards the finish.
Canfield looking a bit down and out, but it was not to be. It will level the series. US 1 through the line to take the victory. That will be 1-1, and we will move on in this finals competition. USA back in the game, back in the hunt.